Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Hermitcraft, and it is only fitting that we start this episode focused on the tower that we built in the last one. Yeah, that's right, I've got a cheaty zoom key. A cheaty zoom key. Look at my ugly Strider face right here. I have been looking to optimize the game's performance a little bit. Things might look different in this video because I am currently running sodium. You can see it up there in the top left of the screen. And in pair with this, I also put in a mod that gives you the zoom key back. I really think this should be in vanilla. Don't you think the same? I also love how it goes all smooth when you zoom in. Look at that smooth movement right there. Let me just demonstrate. Okay, look at the mouse cursor. It's very, very static and stiff. And then all of a sudden, smooth movement. I love it. Anyways, we are faced with a slight problem. The purpose of this intro was to let you know that things may look naturally a little bit different. Lighting is supposed to be done differently with this mod Sodium, and the game should perform better, the video should look nicer, but it should be kind of obvious right now that something is very, very wrong. And it is the honey blocks. They are far too translucent. I mean, look at this right here. It's practically see-through. We shouldn't be able to see those sea lanterns. So yeah, this sodium mod, it might, make the game more stable, but it's got some issues with rendering transparent blocks. So things are back to normal now. I still have my cheaty zoom key, but we don't have sodium anymore. And for a reference point, sodium is basically an alternative to Optifine. So it'll increase the performance of the game. But let's face it, I probably don't really need it. I was just experimenting. And anyways, we're heading over to this project because I wanted to use the beacon down the bottom here to go mining for some terracotta, and it reminded me that I was actually working on a project over here. Whoa! Of course, I'm talking about this place down here where the pigmen are plentiful and the enchanting takes place. This was previously left undone, but now we have a staircase leading to our storage area, and lighting is obvious in some places. We got lava there. And in other places, not so much underneath this carpet. That's because we actually had creepers and stuff spawning down here. I really want this build to be kind of dark to suit the blackstone, but you have to light it up to stop mob spawning. And anyway, down here, the room is a lot brighter because we've got like brown on the ground here with the carpet and the oak logs, and then gold around the sides, very structural, and a little bit of blackstone leading it from one side of the room to the other. And that is a beautiful looking storage area right there to collect all of our gold. And yes, I'm very aware that I missed a couple of blocks here. And this of course means that another project in the area is complete. Just got to remove this beacon base, seal up the entrance there, and our gold farm project is finally finished. And in this episode we will finish up yet another project. It's going to get done. It is of course our mini game that we played with VII, and this thing was a resounding success. However, it was in need of some renovation. So now we have a larger arena. We're also going to be ditching the card system in favour of having 5 unique plays the player can use and having them available at any time. And then this layout means that the opponent can see what cards you have left to use. That makes this game pretty much pure strategy with a little bit of skill, and we're removing the randomness. We will figure out the details of all of that later on. First of all, I want to focus on aesthetics down here. I've just made some preparations for the way to go to either side, and we want to set up some rules and instructions and create a nice looking room for the players to enter. And I have now done that, my friends, in its entirety, because sometimes in this game you just gotta build. And so I've gotten carried away with these dark and mysterious corridors. Here are the corner sections leading to the stairs up to the arena. And then on the opposite side, everything has been mirrored, and then we have this room right here. I absolutely love how this room turned out. You can see more of it here. So these are the stairs that lead down, and just look at that. It's dark, it's evil, it's mysterious, and there's loads of crying obsidian down below. That's actually where most of the lighting from the room comes. And I've just gotten carried away here. I haven't even built the area where the players are going to learn how to play the game. This is all just decoration leading up to it. So this space right here will be the spot. And so this is what it looks like. You can see we've used the other type of wood for the build palette, but the shape of the room is all relatively straightforward because the players need to come in and simply read this, how to play standoff. Now, if you've watched my episodes, you've already understood how to play the game, so you can pause the video if you'd like to read each page of this book. I've tried to divide it up so this is like more of an introduction, and then the finer points are refined in the general rules. And it could be that I need to come up with one or more, two more points to add into this book. And for me right now, it's just pretty late in the day. I've been playing Minecraft for many hours and my brain is a little frazzled. I could come up with one or two ideas on how to customize the game, but I think I'll wait until I've got a few more. I can fill this book out. Next up is the arena, which is slightly larger than before, and you can see the terrain around the edge here has been roughed up, and that makes it look a lot better, but you can always come and stand right in the corner to make a shot and aim any of the armor stands from the starting positions. So that's important, and the players now have this little interface, so they don't have to run off into the side and try and draw a card. Those moves are now just going to be available at any time, and because they're displayed in an armor stand, you can see what moves your opponent has left, and that removes the random element from this game. So, take their turn, precision shot, retreat, switch spots, and double move are the special moves that each player has once, and if they want to customize the game, maybe they can randomize what things they get, or perhaps have even more than 5 moves. That's something we'll accommodate for in the future. So now we're going to take the old books out of here, and you can see they've got all the tools up here that they need to play the game. And then we've got a book with simple instructions explaining how each of those moves work. And we're not done just yet. I have built a path that leads from this area up to the next one, and I've taken some inspiration from the design over there, which looks really cool. And this one, not so much, but hey, it's subject to change based on what Tango and Efo want. And this path hooks up to our game and also up to a sign-up area because we are going to be hosting a tournament. One that I'm not actually going to participate in. This is for the other hermits. It's going to be like a bracket tournament, last person standing, a series of games to see who is the standoff champion. So right here, we've got Corrales and Joe Hill signing up. And before it are the instructions. Again, with so many books in this episode, you can just pause it if you want to read it. So the game is ready to play and we should now be moving on. But a moment ago I was at the Nether hub and, you know, striders swimming up a stream and a magma cube hopping across the surface of lava. I didn't know it could do that. That is so very, very strange. Speaking of Nether hubs, we need to finish our own personal one, and one of the big problems with this down the bottom here and why it's not finished is because ghasts can actually see you through the portal, so they tend to shoot into this middle area here, breaking these portals, and I kind of had plans to put carpets down here, but of course those carpets will get blown up, so we kind of need to change things in here so that we can reduce the amount of ghasts shooting at us when we're going through the portals. There were some piglins hanging out down here, and it's their fault that they didn't move. Yeah, I got me a piglin head over here. So I've been sat here scratching my head trying out a few different things. Having a portal on display with glass on the other side, so it kind of looks the same from out here, but then you have these openings and, you know, the ghasts are just going to see through the openings. So then I kind of messed around with the idea of the portal being really wide and again having glass on the outside here, but again, if the ghast sees you through this gap, that's it. It's just going to shoot into the middle, so we can't have anything decorative here. And that's the trick, really, not to have anything decorative. So we're going to just have to make this area here ghast-proof. So I believe I've sussed everything out, and we are actually working with a couple of additional challenges to make everything here come together. One of them being that I need to collect ink sacks from the portals, because putting these here has broken our ink sack farm. And with some modification, we can make this thing down here collect all of the ink sacks. So we'll come back to that later on. The other thing is, how do I get up to the top if I don't have my elytra and rocket, which might happen on occasion? Considering that the only way to get in here is to fly over here, kind of says a lot, right? Yeah, anyway, I've come up with this idea that we're going to have a tower around this thing. So the tower design is going to take some serious inspiration from Tango and Efo and the minigame area that we were over at earlier. So we're going to have shroom lights coming up the middle here and slabs like that. There's a very slim chance a ghast might shoot and actually break the shroom light, but when we would be able to walk down here and use the thing in the middle to go upwards. The problem is, this is just really, really slow, unfortunately. Like, takes quite a bit of time to get all the way up to the top. When you talk things through, you start to realise the redundancy of your ideas. If we fly up here with a rocket, it's obviously going to be really tricky to get right onto the bedrock. But as I'm demonstrating, you can just hit a block straight up like this and not take any damage because you're facing upwards. So maybe there's another way to do this. Okay, remember that, and don't get too distracted by the area down here. It's pretty simple. We have a walkway to where we'll be able to collect our ink sacs from over here, and now we're going to focus on what's above. You can see I've cleared out the space because we've got to build a roof design up there, and what we'll do is we'll have a gap integrated where we can basically land right here and then make our way up to the roof, the bedrock roof of the Nether, which is, you know, where this goes, obviously. So we put together a roof design, and then all of this is finito. We can say our Nether base project is done. However, something has broken our item filtering system over here, and I can confirm that it is definitely not the redstone because I let this thing run for a long time with no issues. Then all of a sudden, I came in here and noticed that the filters are broken when I picked up some obsidian. So you know what I think it is? I think it's chunks loading and unloading that can potentially break it, which is really unfortunate. Well, this is a messy old inventory, isn't it? The sign of building for far too long. But this inner bit right here is now done, and I love the design, mixing blackstone and basalt together. Keeping all the lanterns actually where they were before. In fact, the whole shape is kind of similar to where the netherrack was, right? But now what we got to do is build it up. And this is where we're going to have some fun, because we're going to have some flat vertical walls. And that means that we can put some interesting decorations in them. So my scaffolding situation has been upgraded. And up here we have a design for the walls that leaves a big old gap where I want to recess some big chunks of colours. Maybe the new blocks. I've got something in mind, but it might be too much of a contrast. And between those big chunks of colour, we're going to have these sections, like repeating patterns going up to the top. Blackstone will go up there as well, the polished type, and mix in with the bedrock up top. And as I was doing this, I realised we're kind of cutting through where Etho would travel to his portal, and we probably do actually still want to access this top area. So I think what we're going to do is rip the repeating segment out on this side and the opposite side, and then have the platform that's currently floating connect through the middle. So it'd be like a bridge that you walk over, but you can also then drop down or fly up and land on it. That has got to be a rarity. 4 Endermen, like a whole pack of them, spawning up here? No. That was the other block that I thought of from 1.16, the new quartz block. Too much contrast. It is now complete, and I gotta say, it is beautiful. It just makes sense to take what we've been doing around here with the red and the teal and throw them in on the sides there. That looks glorious from down here. It looks glorious from pretty much every angle. So this, my friends, is how we shall experience the Nether Hub. We shoot ourselves on into here where the ghasts can shoot but not break any blocks, which is good. And then we shoot ourselves up to here. We can drop off in this space if we need to, or we just aim directly upwards, end up in the top here, and drift down like that. Oh, so cool. And then it's easy to get to the bedrock roof. Here we go, here we go. See? Oh, went straight out the other side. Unlucky. Unlucky. Well, you got the only blocks that could be blown up. There's glass there. By the way, to get to our witch farm, we have this right here, which is just beautiful to fly through. I kind of forgot that I actually left the old route where you would tuck down here, go under there, and then over to the next bit. I left all of this here. Look, I died and I left the scaffolding, so I got a little bit of unbuilding to do over here. So this space has been nicely cleared up. You can kind of see a bit of a scar in the ceiling there. And this one here has been cleared, also leaving a scar. So now I, or anyone else going to the witch farm, won't be confused by having the remainders of an alternative route lying around. So, all of our Nether Hub business is now kind of complete, right? Well, there is one little thing, and this is something I'll do when my building energy is recharged. Kind of need to make a room that allows you to, drop down there and look at those chests, because this is where the ink sacs are going to gather when the squids come through this portal. However, we're going to have to make some changes to our squid farm in the overworld. So here in the overworld, where you can see our glorious new tower, and also myself hanging out over there in the distance, we have a squid farm built underground below us. This is a place where squid can spawn and then end up inside of these portals going through to the Nether. Now we have a little bit of a problem, and that is that if the squid choose to go through the portal at these top areas, they end up at the wrong portal, but the one you saw a minute ago, they will synchronize with if they go through these bottom areas right here. So we need all of them to go through at the bottom, and luckily for us, the glass that we have here separating layers where squids can spawn, well, we don't need that anymore because there have been changes in 1.16, which means that other fish types won't actually spawn in here anymore. So because of that, we can go in here and remove all of the glass, and then the squid will fall down and effectively hit the portal at the bottom, I believe. So it should mean better rates for us with our farm. However, we've also had loads of hoppers here over time, and I've completely forgotten to check up on these and look at it. They are full to the brim with ink sacs, at least on one side they are. So we got, you know, a plentiful supply of this stuff, and apparently it's producing a fair bit of gold as well from all the zombie pigmen that spawn from these portals up here. So we have a bit of a problem. I totally thought that the squid were going to be swimming downwards to the bottom of the portal, whereas you can see they actually just spawn and then go off to the sides. So the issue with that is that they all end up here. Endless problems, I tell you, endless problems. We could perhaps run a couple of minecart hoppers underneath here, but look, the items kind of spill out all over the place. They go down over here as well. Oh, I just don't know what to do. Although I should point out that's not all of them. Quite a few of them do come through here, including chickens apparently. So we are getting some ink sacs in this spot. It's a good thing I got a zoom key. To the witch farm. To the hub. Yeah, we need some orientation in this area. And that's because I want to fly over to the Nether hub. We're going to go drop off some shulker boxes full of leaves, so that then we can fill them up full of ink sacs. So we have no idea of knowing how the other hermits are doing in this competition. However, not a single lamp has been lit up yet. But we'll submit another 6 shulker boxes and see where that gets us. And that is actually as many as we can submit. There are no shulker boxes left over here. And no lamp is lit up. What did I tell you? They are in the exact same position. They haven't budged an inch. They just stay there all the time. I wonder what happens if I nudge them. Will they go back to that position again? Maybe they'll just stay like that now. Nope, you're moving. You're moving straight back to that spot. Oh my. So I've decided to stock up the ink sac store, and I'm also going to lower the price. Although I've noticed hermits haven't paid attention to the last time I lowered the price, as I picked up some profits here, a diamond for every stack sold. So anyway, the new price is going to be a diamond for 3 stacks, and we got lots and lots of stock over here. So while in the gorgeous commercial district, decided to run around and collect some profits, and these are my personal profits, and these are the ones that we've made with Corrales, which is amazing. So business is good as usual. But let's not forget, we have a new store, the Block Exchange. Let's go and check out what's been happening here. And unfortunately, it looks like I'm the only one who's invested in trading at the moment, but I know there has been some sales, so we haven't made any of those. But look at this. Some diamonds are rolling in over here. That's nice to see. I'll have to come over here and restock them. And in general, we could put way more now because I have way more than we had when we opened this. And more options for other hermits means more sales. And none of our mini block bounties have been filled, unfortunately. But a stack of the bling blangs? Can't be complaining about those diamonds, oh no. And while we're in the area, I have a little job to do, some books to buy, because, well, I've got a question for you. What is wrong with this image right here? There is a pick missing, okay? I actually let a netherite pick break when I was mining terracotta. That feels like blasphemy right there. I mean, netherite of all materials. But anyway, I want to make sure I always have a good supply. So I brought some books and we're just going to make another one of these. And let's not forget that I paid 3 diamond blocks for this ancient debris. We've got just enough to make another ingot. And thanks to our grooving little setup down here, I can just stand in the middle and do absolutely everything from this single spot. There we go. We've got our pick back and now we can head out of here. By the way, I was able to hunt down the last map for our collection. I asked Joe and he had one lying around. And yeah, just wanted to let you know we completed our collection over here. And where I've been doing bits and bobs around the base, I have also extended this path over here. You might remember last episode we touched on this. I ripped everything out that I'm standing on right now, only to rebuild it because of the tower over here. So as you'll notice, there is string to hold back the vines, and we're doing business as usual. Some of the trees are a bit wonky because I've had to move them away from the path, and so I still don't know what's going to go in here, but we've got a path to get to this place. And I also bumped into another wandering trader on a live stream and got 5 more unique blocks. These ones right here were the ones we had not obtained before. That means we got 116 of 148. That's 32 blocks left to capture from the wandering trader. And on that note, I've pretty much set out to do everything I wanted to do this episode and taken care of a bunch of errands, and now I'm just left with some item sorting because, wow, I've started to accumulate a whole bunch of junk from the projects that we've been doing, and it all needs to get tidied away, so I'll be doing that in between episodes. So this is the end of this one. If you've enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like. As always, thank you for your support, and I'll see you soon in the next episode of Hermitcraft. Bye-bye.